We go up here about to rock Rick Ross, the boss. See if anything. Let's see what's going on with Rick Ross. Let's see. See if he got some shit up his sleeve.
Back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake. When I'm rocking with y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're gonna be speaking on Rick Ross, the self-proclaimed kingpin, but actual former corrections officer.
Oh shit.
I know, I can already see from here, from where I'm at, this nigga's a total fraud. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not even no issue. But I paid for the transcripts to your court case.
Trick Daddy recently.
Oh my god, you said, but I paid for the transcript from your court case. Yeah, Rick Ross was a correctional officer, if anybody was wondering. He was.
Working as a prison guard at one point, Rick. Is there any truth to that?
No, that's not true. But that's disappointing to hear that he said that. He said that?
Like you did 10 years in jail, right? How you think about the whole Rick Ross thing, him being a correctional officer and dealing with correctional officers?
Wow. Fake niggas get taped up and sent back. Use a fake nigga, you makes up a good act.
Now I know you. I think it's fair to say I know you now.
Was Rick Ross in his lifetime a corrections officer?
Rick Ross done did it all to get money. I done did it all except set dudes up, put dudes behind bars, and that's what's important to me.
Pictures turn up of you online,
right?
Or a person that looks like you online.
Look. The rap shit that he putting about, I guess, I don't really hear Rick Ross talk about making money. Now, I don't know what he used. Oh, you know what? He used to rap about moving dope and all this other shit. But, like, yo, who's to say he, okay if he was, but still, like, there's crooked cops out here that be doing shit, man. I'm just saying, but, like, I like to say the nigga is well took care of where he at now. I can say that. He don't
Who's
give a
working
fuck.
as a correctional officer.
So why do it matter?
Is that or is that not Rick Ross in those pictures?
That was me in the photos. I'm the truth when your truth's just pretend. I hear lies in every one of your lines with no flow or mind. Magnified times 5. You lost, I'm Ross.
Now bullets are flying in hip-hop as back-to-back disses are being dropped and shots
I'm
keep
the biggest
getting fired.
boss.
At this point, it seems like Drake versus everybody, but one person in particular is standing out. Rick Ross would drop an immediate response to Drake's diss, but that isn't what's got my attention. Ross would keep dissing through Instagram and referring to Drake as a white boy, as if that's an insult. Well, now you got a white boy's attention. Apparently everybody forgot the biggest boss of Miami, the hustler who knew Pablo and Noriega, the man who thinks he's Big Meech, Larry Hoover.
Big Meech.
Everybody forgot he was a fucking CO. Lead the way. Now this is
Hey yo, why they put that
back
man?
in 2000 CO.
Look at this. I'm fucking
Now this
dead,
isn't
Joe.
new news. Back in 2008, pictures would be released of Ross in uniform, and he'd speak exclusively with all hip-hop stating, "My life is 100% real. These online hackers putting a picture of my face when I was..."
Bro, see what the fuck I mean? This is why, bro, I'ma get to this motherfucking internet in some way, shape, or form, boy. I'ma figure that shit out. Bro, you see what he doing? When you in that world, boy, you can make this shit out to whatever you want it to be. Honestly, yo. You can make this shit out to whatever you want it to be. And can't nobody tell you nothing.
Teenager in high school on other people's body.
Bro.
If this shit was real, don't you think they would have more specifics, like dates and everything? So a then 32-year-old Ross claimed the pic was photoshopped, his kingpin lifestyle was real, and there was no proof behind the CO allegations. Well, a media website by
so
the name
he tried
of
to throw it away at
Gun
first, but
would
then
send
he
in a
said,
public
fuck it.
records request receiving 86 pages from the Florida Department of Corrections about Officer Ricky's short career. A photo of William Roberts, aka Rick Ross's state of Florida.
Bro, these niggas care that much that they got applications. Bro, these niggas kid. Look how bad a nigga want to see you fall when you get up, bro. Come on, yo. You know he had to get dig inside, like, to some more hater shit. Yeah, that nigga shit. He signed up on. Bro, niggas dig deep.
Would state he received his diploma from Miami Carroll City High and went on to Albany State University to
Bro,
study
how do
criminal
he be
justice.
getting this shit?
On his supplementary application, he stated his nickname was Big East and denied knowing anyone in prison, along with never working in prison or in law enforcement. Now, with every new recruit, the Department of Corrections wants to know how willing you are to complete your correctional duties.
And look, you know what's crazy? Sorry to say. Sorry to pause it, but yo, at the end of the day, this is blowing so much more attention to him. And what does this who win in this situation, man? Honestly, who win? It doesn't even matter.
How willing you are to complete your correctional duties.
It doesn't matter.
Ross would check off he's willing to work rotating shifts, carry a firearm,
damn, yo, these
work
niggas
with
dig
violent
deep.
inmates, homosexuals, etc. He'd also state he's willing to shoot an inmate who's attempting to escape, body search a male or female inmate, and write an incident report.
Okay.
In 1995, Ross would take an oath of loyalty to support the Constitution and would receive a letter stating he's now officially a correctional officer trainee at the South Florida Reception Center. 5 months later, it was now 1996, and Ross would receive an award for completing 540 hours of basic training.
Okay, good job.
Ross was now an official corrections officer and can be seen taking a picture at his graduation.
This was some hating shit, it felt like to me. It was like, alright, the nigga Florida. Okay, y'all. Okay. We understand he a correctional officer.
The ceremony. 4 months later, he'd receive a certificate of appreciation for perfect attendance from the same woman he can be seen shaking hands with at his ceremony. Eventually, all good things must come to an end. And in June of 1997, Ricky Rose sent in a resignation letter and officially left the force. But like I said, this isn't new news. This came out back in 2008, and 50 Cent started calling Ross Officer Ricky in 2009. That same year, Rick Ross would admit to XXL it was in fact him in the pictures. He'd state, "Me not answering or addressing that situation has nothing to do with my career. I've accomplished enough and I've made enough money for me to be good.
Right.
Yes, it was me in those pictures, but I'm gonna tell you this. Me taking that job, I was doing my job. You understand what I mean?" He'd continue on saying the stuff he talks about is real, the dope is real, and the gun talk is official. But fans would forever speculate, when exactly was Rick Ross in the streets serving bricks? In an interview with the Full Send Pod.
And look, that's what I'm saying. It don't matter if he was or wasn't. Them niggas like his music.
The alleged kingpin was asked about his time as a corrections officer in Florida State Prison.
Were you a correctional officer at one point?
I was, yeah.
So going all the way back. When was that? How long ago?
Maybe when I was 20.
20 years old?
Yeah.
What kind of people were in there?
You know, I didn't really get to make it to the prison. Because you got to go through training and all that, and I didn't last long.
Right.
I may have lasted 4 months.
Right.
Before they said,
Yeah.
I was a little tardy.
Now, Ross claimed he only worked the job for 4 months and never made it to a real prison because he didn't even complete training from being tardy so much. But this is the same Ross that received a certificate of appreciation for never missing a day. He'd work as a CO for 18 months at the South Florida Reception.
This how you get niggas to. This how you finagle with shit. Get you to keep talking about it. Put a little misunderstandings in it. Look at though he came every day.
This was the first stop for any inmate entering the prison system from Miami, Broward, Palm Beach, or any other neighboring counties. This was very much prison, and the South Florida Reception Center has repeatedly made the news, like when 4 COs were arrested for beating an elderly inmate to death, or when 11 inmates died from COVID. But still, Rick Ross got a pass because even if he never sold drugs a day in his life, the music sounded good enough to forget it.
Right.
So why still lie about your old job? And if you weren't flipping bricks in between criminal justice
just a little
class and
image
football practice, when did it happen? Apparently in 2008, the same year the pictures were released, Rick Ross was arrested on gun and marijuana charges. The investigation would be assigned to the Gang Unit Task Force, and transcripts would state the Gang Unit was given the case because Rick Ross claims affiliation with the Carroll City Cartel. Now, Triple C's, according to Wikipedia, was a hip-hop group founded by Rick Ross in 2005.
Okay.
Named after the Carroll City neighborhood of Miami, the group featured Rick Ross,
the ugly ass coat,
Gunplay, Torch, and Young Breed. The transcripts would mention YouTube, and Ross didn't shy away from his cartel affiliation because it wasn't an actual cartel. The transcripts would also reveal this was actually Ross's first arrest as an adult at 32 years old. So technically speaking, you're not a criminal until you get caught, right?
Right.
And Ross was never caught until after his career already blew up. Aside from marijuana, Ross wouldn't be arrested for anything serious until 2017, when him and his former security guard kidnapped a landscaper by forcing him into a room and pistol whipping him.
What the hell?
Ross would plea out to lesser charges as a first time.
See what I mean? Boy, what the fuck was he? This nigga turned from CO to a straight hitter.
And the charges would be removed from his criminal history after paying all fines and completing probation. So maybe Ross was just too smart to get caught with any bricks. Going back to his interview, Ross would state he got his job in corrections after his big homie got in trouble and suggested it.
What made you want to do that?
One of my big homies had just got in trouble, and a lot of things were going on, and he just suggested it.
You fuck with it or no?
No, I didn't. Anything you gotta really do, and you fucking running and jogging and all of that shit, man.
The big homie Ross was referring to is none other than Kenneth Booby Williams. Booby was the leader of the Booby Boys, an infamous murderous drug gang that terrorized Miami in the 90s. Law enforcement officials would state they built a drug empire that smuggled 5 tons and $85 million worth of cocaine across 25 Florida cities and 12 states from 1990 to 1998. The gang was blamed for 35 murders, and they were all indicted. The shootings and murder rate literally dropped in 4 of Miami's worst neighborhoods. According to a Street Stories article, the Booby Boys reached national attention through Rick Ross, who rose to fame in hip-hop's cocaine era, when everybody was rapping about cocaine and selling it.
Right.
He'd introduced the world to Miami's underworld by wearing a Booby Boys t-shirt, naming members in his songs, and speaking of them in multiple interviews.
When I talk about yayo, when I talk about streets, body counts, that's where I really come from, you know what I'm saying? I came up in Carroll City, the heart of Miami, and just so happened in my generation, we had a good friend of ours by the name of Kenneth Booby Williams, who was featured on America's Most Wanted in 1999. You understand that he was accused for over 200 homicides and running an $80 million enterprise.
Damn.
An anonymous person would speak with the Miami New Times back in 2008 over the correction officer controversy. He'd state, Ross ain't no fake cat. He's always been savvy in my experiences crossing paths with him way back in the day. Ross ran with the Booby Boys, who were among the top 5 gangsters down here in Miami in the mid-90s. When Booby Boys leader Kenneth Booby Williams got snatched by the feds, they also snatched several Miami-Dade police officers as well because they were on Booby's payroll. Now, Ross wasn't no kingpin himself, but close enough, because he ran with some real hustlers that touched major work. Streetwise, Rick Ross's back is against the wall. He can't really elaborate on everything because Booby is still dealing with the federal case right now on appeal. The streets know that when Ross was a CO, he was working for Booby on a mission. Now this story would coincide with what Ross said on his Full Send interview, but we don't even know who said it because the person was anonymous and could have been Rick Ross himself or a member of his team.
Ain't that some shit?
Reading between the lines, this dude was alleging Ross got a job as a CO to work for Booby in prison.
Right.
And Booby was a notorious drug gang leader. But the timelines don't even add up. Ross started working in prison in 95 and resigned in 97. The same year some of the Booby boys got locked up. Then the feds indicted 15 of them in 1999. Ross's so-called big homie never even made it to Florida State Prison. It would end up in the feds, meaning Ross never came across him while working in state prison.
Oh, shit.
Another anonymous person claiming to be the baby mother of one of the Booby boys stated Ross was never a Booby boy and never a dope boy either.
Oh, look.
Everyone
Hey,
connected
man,
to Kenneth Booby
man, we ain't gotta be on this guy like that, man. We ain't gotta do Big Ross like this.
Was arrested, and Ross only went to high school with some of the members. She would claim Booby was an inmate at the South Florida Reception Center before going to prison when he recognized Rick Ross and thought he'd be beneficial. But even her story doesn't make sense, as Booby doesn't show up in the Florida Department of Corrections offender search. So yet again, another story that can't be proven by another anonymous source. Whether or not Ross promoted the Booby boys to give himself a more street appearance, Ross would skyrocket into stardom and rise to legendary status in the state of Florida. Because of that, nobody really gives a fuck if Ross's whole persona was fake,
right?
Because he still made it.
Right.
But apparently Ross does, because he responded to me on Instagram. Now, I made a post about him lying over how much time he actually did working in prison, and he'd respond in a series of Instagram posts stating I'm a rat. He'd show my mugshot in one post, and in another, a statement. The statement would read, the suspect, Cherry, made several spontaneous statements. He stated that the gun was in his friend Alex's room inside the closet under the green shirt. He stated that he was shooting the gun in the middle of the street and that he is sorry. He stated he found it in a vacant house that he was using to piss
Ferraris
in. He saw a shiny object and reached out.
Hey, yo, you know what's funny, though? You know what's funny? Ross, those assassinate phase. What y'all, man, just give me a clue. Just give me just throw me some opinions. Y'all think that's corny or, hey, man, y'all sit around saying I'm doing this, but I'm living like this. But you know, yo, none of that shit really matter. But you know what's funny? They like to say all this other shit, like all this, that impress broke people. Then why are you taking a picture of shit like this? If that impress broke people, you're showing your wealth, showing off your success.
Found the gun.
Sorry, that's ADHD off. I switched over to some other topic. It's ADHD. Keep it rolling with me. We family.
Now, Rick Ross would at me, putting multiple rat emojis while adding Drake saying, white boy, who next? He'd then make another post writing this.
Man, I think I'll be done with this video. If y'all wanna look at that full video, it's 1090 Jake. Everybody know what 1090 Jake is. End of the sessions. This video is just like too, I ain't feeling it. Like, it's really like why does it matter? It doesn't matter. The nigga is doing what he's doing and he's doing things. It don't matter.